One of the most common symptoms of a panic attack is feeling like you can't breathe. Some people describe it like a weight on their chest. Other people describe it like they can't take a full breath, or they have like an egg-shaped thing stuck in their throat right here, and they feel like they're choking. And this is really scary. There are very few things we need in life in order to survive, but oxygen is definitely at the top of that list. And so worrying about not being able to breathe makes complete sense. And there's something that we naturally do in response to this feeling like we can't breathe, that while it makes sense, while it feels intuitive, actually makes our panic a lot worse. Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Borshak. I'm a clinical psychologist in California. I specialize in a type of therapy called acceptance and commitment therapy, and I work every day with clients experiencing anxiety, panic, worry, stress, burnout, overwhelm, and concerns regarding health. When we feel like we can't breathe, it makes sense that we try to take in big, deep breaths. If we feel like, I'm not getting enough oxygen, well, of course, we gotta suck some more air in. And while intuitively that makes sense, in reality, it can actually exacerbate, worsen your panic attack symptoms and make everything a lot more intense, also increase the chances that you faint. Here's why. While panic attacks make you feel like you can't breathe, a panic attack should not obstruct your airways. If something is literally obstructing your airways and your throat is closing, that's not a panic attack. That's some type of reaction in your body that needs medical intervention, such as an allergic reaction to something. But while a panic attack can feel like you can't breathe, you can. You're getting the oxygen that you need. So what happens is people get scared that they can't breathe and they start sucking in air. Right? They deep breathe. And frankly, my profession used to teach people to do this. It used to teach deep breathing in response in the moment when you're having a panic attack. That's why research is important. That's why we continue to learn and grow and ask questions, because sometimes we're wrong. If you feel like you can't breathe and all of a sudden you start sucking in air, what happens is you're taking too much air, you increase your CO2 levels, you cause hyperventilation, dizziness, feeling faint. Even just doing that for a couple of breaths, I can feel my body getting flushed a little bit. You can see maybe my face is getting a little bit red. I feel a little bit dizzy. I feel really kind of like hot and sweaty in my body right now. And that was just for doing it for 3 breaths? So imagine if I felt like I couldn't breathe and I kept doing that, and then I felt flushed, and then I felt hot all over, and I still felt like I couldn't breathe. Well, that's going to cause my mind to go, oh no, this is a really bad panic attack, and keep doing it until we get to the point where we either hit peak panic or we faint. Now, thankfully, if you do faint, your body will just take back over breathing, and it knows you don't need to be sucking in air like that. So it'll go back to breathing as it normally does, and you'll wake up and everything will be okay. But please stop sucking in big gulps of air when you're feeling short of breath, when you're having a panic attack. Now, what can you do instead? One thing I always recommend is practicing getting in touch with how your body naturally breathes. Now, we talk about the importance of diaphragmatic breathing. It's kind of, people talk about belly breathing, breathing into our ribs and through our back, getting that kind of full, deep breath. Now, diaphragmatic breathing is great, but most adults do not breathe through their diaphragm unless they're, let's say, singers or trained in some way to do that. Over time, we suck in our bellies, we get nervous about our posture, we lean forward, we do all these things that make it hard for our diaphragm and our lungs to fully expand. And so it can sometimes actually be unproductive to try to breathe like that when you're having a panic attack. So instead, what I recommend is just putting a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly, closing your eyes, and noticing how your body normally breathes. Maybe your breath feels a little shallower than it is. Maybe it feels like you're only filling up 40 or 60% of your lungs. Maybe you breathe faster or slower than you thought. We're not trying to change our breathing in any way here. All we're doing is noticing how at rest, when there's no kind of panic going on, no intense anxiety, how our body naturally breathes. What that does is it teaches you what normal breathing for you feels like. So that when you're having panic attack, you can close your eyes, you can do that, and you can know that if your lungs don't feel like they're filling all the way, or if you feel like you're breathing faster or slower, that's normal for you. It can add some reassurance that you're getting all the oxygen you need, even if your mind is telling you you can't. But honestly, for many people, when they're having a panic attack, focusing on any type of breathing exercises can actually make the panic worse. Because what we're doing is we're hyper-focusing on the area that we're already feeling panic around. So what I generally recommend is acknowledge the fact that we're feeling a little bit scared about our breathing, we're feeling short of breath, and then actually draw your attention out to other sensations that are more external to your body, like your hands and your feet. Since we usually don't feel a lot of panic sensations in our hands and our feet, except for maybe sweatiness or a little bit of tingling. And really trying to focus our sensation on that. So it might be as simple as just tapping your fingers together and noticing that moment when your fingers first touch. It might be wiggling your toes. One of the reasons why holding an ice cube, for example, is helpful. So holding an ice cube in your hand, one, it's distal, it's far away from where you're having your main panic symptoms, so it's drawing your attention away from that. And it's creating another intense sensation, shouldn't be painful. So we're not holding the ice to cause pain, we're holding it to create a different sensation that just helps to interrupt that threat system and allow our body to regulate itself. So I hope this gives you an idea of some of the stuff that feels natural but is maybe not the right step, and some different alternative strategies that you can use when you are experiencing a panic attack. And make sure to subscribe, share this with whomever you think will be helpful, and stay tuned for the rest of my series on working with panic attacks and panic disorder. And that's Oliver. He says hi.